Today is the second day of the 10th month in the 9th year of Channel Group, November 6, 2021. To begin our day, let's offer our respect and gratitude to our Heavenly Parent and true parents of heaven, earth, and all humankind. 천진 부모님께 경배. 바로 let us recite 가중맹세. Family pledge. Number 1. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges to seek our original homeland and build the kingdom of Heavenly Parent on earth and in heaven, the original ideal of creation, by centering on true love. 2. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges to represent and become central to heaven and earth by attending the Heavenly Parent and true parents. We pledge to perfect the beautiful family way of filial sons and daughters in our family, patriots in our nation, saints in the world, and divine sons and daughters in heaven and on earth by centering on true love. 3. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges to perfect the 4 great realms of heart, the 3 great kingships and realm of the royal family by centering on true love. 4. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges to build the universal family encompassing heaven and earth, which is Heavenly Parent's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. 5. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges to strive every day to advance the unification of the spirit world and physical world as subject and object partners by centering on true love. 6. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges to become a family that moves heavenly fortune by embodying the Heavenly Parent and true parents, and to perfect a family that conveys heaven's blessing to our community by centering on true love. 7. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges through living for the sake of others to perfect a world based on the culture of heart, which is rooted in the original lineage by centering on true love. 8. Our family, the honor of Channel Group, pledges, having entered the era of Channel Group, to achieve the ideal of Heavenly Parent and human beings united in love through absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience, and to perfect the realm of liberation and complete freedom in the kingdom of Heavenly Parent on earth and in heaven by centering on true love.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Welcome to our National Morning Devotion. To lead us the opening prayer, may I request our Nanay Shani Kamayo.
Please join me in my prayer. Let us pray to our most beloved Heavenly Parents, victorious true parents of heaven and earth and sky. Today, November 6, 2021, we gathered together as one family to attend this morning devotion. We are so grateful and thankful, having our true parents, giving us always guidance in our daily life. Thank you so much to our leader, Reverend Leo Halo, who are preparing always morning devotions, stand as true parents representative, giving this message to us. I pray, Father, for our true mother, for her good health and protection, to our beloved true children, as well true families. May the good health and protection of all leaders bless families, bless children, brothers and sisters around them. I pray for all Chongpo couples can unite and continue to support one another, to help the blessed families to accomplish the goal as a Chongpo couple that our true parents wanted us to accomplish. I pray that we could have absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience to unite with our beloved true mother direction to us by accomplishing our responsibility. Our heavenly parents, true parents, sacrificed so much. We receive the benefits. We are the first ancestor who follow our true parents' course. We pray for us to end this year 2021 with a great determination to bring victory for the realization of Vision 2027. We thank you and grateful and to our beloved Heavenly Parent, true parents, for all the love and great blessing that we receive in our daily life. We love you, Heavenly Parents. We love you, true parents. I humbly offer this prayer in behalf of our leaders, brothers and sisters around the world. I pray this in my name. From Nation to my ascendant, this family. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our Nanay Shani, for that heartfelt prayer. Now let us offer our unison prayer. Aju, Aju, Aju. Now let us offer our morning greetings to our heavenly parents and true parents. Good morning, God and true parents, to our leaders, our national leader, and brothers and sisters. Let's greet the person beside us. Good morning. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Welcome to our National Morning Devotion hosted by International Peace Leadership College. To begin our reading, let us welcome our sister Mariah Peresi.
Good morning, our dear leaders, elders, blessed families, brothers and sisters. A reading from the book Mother of Peace, a memoir by Hak Jahan Moon. Chapter 3, The Marriage Supper of the Lamb, Continuation. My husband, being a charismatic spiritual leader, sometimes received unwanted attention from women. There was once a woman who appeared in front of him claiming to be Eve, and another who hid under his bed. As God's true son and as a true husband and father, he never wavered. He and I as well felt only sympathy for such women. I encountered similar advances. Once, while my husband was away on a world tour, a strange person shouted loudly, "I am Adam," jumped in front of me and tried to assault me. At the time, I was 7 months pregnant, and I was so shocked that I almost miscarried. I encountered the same forms of hardships that Father Moon did. At times, my reality turned into a whirlpool of tests and ordeals, and in my heart, I would feel like a little boat floating on rough seas. Knowing well my mission, I overcame those hardships through prayer. My silent perseverance and constant prayer actually deepened the members' devotional life. I always strove to maintain a generous heart, and my unwavering faith as a young person encouraged those around me. The greater my absolute obedience to and reverence for God, the more hope everyone felt. Sometimes my elders would hold my hand and whisper into my ear, "Thank you so much for the grace you have shown us through your sacrificial love." Victory through perseverance. Oh no, I've lost another pair of shoes. Even before the member would finish his sentence, those around him would know what had happened. Poverty sometimes makes people do bad things. At the end of Sunday services, we often would find a pair of or two of shoes were missing from the shoe rack. So whenever I had a little extra money, I would buy new shoes for members who had lost them. I also prayed that the person who had taken the shoes would set his or her life straight. Between 200 and 300 people would attend our services and other events, and there was never enough rice to serve them all. So we made porridge by boiling barley in a large iron pot. As the event progressed inside the church, outside, we would make a wood fire and cook the barley porridge. Members would sit down in little clusters and share bowls of the porridge, and they were more grateful for this than anything else. "All of this is a gift from God," they would say. "When I was pregnant, I craved tangerines, but we could not afford them. They were so expensive. One member learned about this, however, and bought some tangerines for me. I ate 6 or 7 of them on the spot. I was so grateful. I cried. When a church holiday would approach, I felt more anxious than excited or happy. I would have to start making preparations 2 weeks in advance to organize the deliveries of the offering table, towers of fruits and delicacies, banners, flowers, and candles, hoping that there would be enough for each member to have an apple or a candy. Once we had made this offering to God, I would feel immense satisfaction. From my birth until my marriage, my path had not been easy. And after marrying, personal challenges impacted not just me, but also our movement. So I never deviated from the path of faith, obedience, and love for God. Just as Satan tested Jesus and Father Moon, he tested me. I persevered through those ordeals with ever deepening devotion because it was at such times that I felt most keenly the grace of God. In the midst of pain, God came very close to me and guided me with pillars of cloud and fire. My husband and I always conversed intensely on various matters. We could do so out of our infinite trust in each other. We went through so much together that we could understand each other with only a look. The life of Father Moon and the path I have walked bear an uncanny resemblance. Most people assume that I was so happy and that I wanted for nothing. You received the seal from God as His only begotten daughter, they would think, and you were born as a perfected being. Therefore, you attained your position with no effort. Many people were like this. They believed that as the mother of the universe, I blissfully had met Father Moon, formed a happy family, and enjoyed life. That describes my life from one perspective. But I have scaled mountains as treacherous and impassable as any in this world. I was able to surmount them all with my husband's love, which was more than any wife has ever received. Although I had 14 children, I never once thought that I had too many. Nonetheless, my children had to go through difficult experiences. When they went out to play, local people would glare at them. Your father is a Munun, isn't he? Adults would shout at an innocent 5-year-old. Do you know what your father does? The Unification Church is creating such a disturbance in the world. While in Korea, they were criticized for being the sons and daughters of Sangmymun, and we were moved to the United States, they faced discrimination for being Asian. It pained me to see my children suffer, but I did not lament or blame others. I held them in my arms and set an example for them by offering prayers of gratitude. My husband and I cared for our children with love and devotion. But because we had so much work to do for the church and the providence, we were unable to spend much time with them. One day, when my husband was on his world tour, Eugene, barely 3 years old, sat on the bedroom floor and began to draw. Normally, he liked to draw cars or bikes, but that day, he clumsily drew a face on the white paper. Even though I knew it was his father, I asked him, Eugene, who is that? Eugene did not answer me, but drew a face on another piece of paper. Though it looked different from the first one, it was still without a doubt his father's face. Eugene was usually very active, but on that day, he sat quietly and continued to draw. He did not grow tired of drawing his father's face, even after spending the whole day at it, and he did not stop drawing it the next day or the day after. It was only when his father returned that he stopped drawing. I can still remember quite vividly how brightly he smiled at his father as he was embraced by him. It was as if he had been given the world. 7 sons and 7 daughters. True Father and I offered 3 generations as a true family to God, culminating when we were with all of our children, their spouses, and our adult grandchildren, taught God's word and ministered the blessing in 180 nations in what we call the Jubilee years, 2006 to 2007. I risked my life to bring our children into the world, and now they have their own missions and responsibilities that heaven wished them to fulfill, and that I also hope they can accomplish. Although as their parent, I may be unable to help them enough, I pray for them every day. If I had experienced only joyful things, I never would have been able to look into people's deepest, innermost hearts. I never would have known the joys of the kingdom of heaven. I have passed through the bottom of hell and experienced every kind of bitterness in life. God wanted me to train myself. What I needed was untiring faith, strong will, and perseverance. That is how I reached this point today. No matter who you are, Aju.
Aju. Thank you, Ate Mariah Apresi, for that beautiful reading. Good morning once again, brothers and sisters. So to share her 10 points of gratitude, let us welcome one of the hardworking mother in IPLC. Bumuho man ang mundo, but she's here to really support our beloved institution that was built by our heavenly parents and true parents. Let us welcome no other than our Tita Nilda Villagante. Let's give her a round of applause, please.
My 10 points of gratitude. First, I am so grateful and thankful to Heavenly Parents and true parents for all the blessings that we receive day by day, especially for the gift of life. Second, I am so grateful and thankful for all our ancestors who laid a foundation for me to meet the Messiah and choosing me as one of their offering to work in the providence of God. Third, I am so grateful and thankful to our elders who sacrificed so much for us to receive the blessing easily. Fourth, I am so grateful and thankful for all the opportunity that I have, especially to work in the providence of God. Fifth, I am so grateful and thankful for all my leaders, elders who guided me and raising me of what I am now today. Sixth, I am so grateful and thankful for all the good and bad things that I experienced in my life, because it makes me strong to survive in all the trials I encounter in my life. 7, I am so grateful and thankful for all the blessings that I received from true parents, especially the family that I have now. 8, I am so grateful and thankful to Heavenly Parents and true parents for choosing me as one of His soldiers to work in the providence of God to establish her kingdom of heaven here on earth. 9, I am so grateful and thankful for all the love and support of all my brothers and sisters, both physically and spiritually, who are always there helping me in times of hardships and difficulties of life, both spiritual and physical. 10, I am so grateful and thankful to God and true parents for choosing me as one of His full-time here in APLC. Thank you so much, everyone. Please keep safe.
All right, thank you so much, our Mother Nilda, for that artistic gratitude. Are you grateful, brothers and sisters? So even though we face a lot of challenges also here in our IPLC, how we could survive also. There are many members here. So as of this time, We are now 74 inside IPLC, but one of our greatest strength also is our hardworking elders here, especially also our Mother Nilda, who really work hard for our IPLC. So their family are really working so hard that even though financially they don't have, but they support us in terms of, spiritual aspect in IPLC, and also Master Bernard, who support also with our administration. Ayun, thank you so much, our Tita Nilda. Let's give her another round of applause. So to grace us with a beautiful song, let us welcome our sister Rajane from Zamboanga. She is our second batch of GLCC. Let's give her a round of applause. so much, our sister Atira Jane Apolinario, one of our second batch of Japanese and caregiving course in IPLC from Zamboanga, for that beautiful song. Let's give her another round of applause. So I hope everyone that you're inspired with a beautiful song of our sister Rajane. Truly, still we need to stick to our beloved heavenly parents and true parents, no matter what happens, especially in this time of COVID-19. So even here also in IPLC, we encounter a lot of challenges, but I think when we really stick to the faith to our heavenly parents and true parents, our father and mother moon also could grace us fortune towards to our community and each centers. So to give us the sermon this morning, so he is one of our very humble leader also in IPLC from the past years. Personally, we experience him as our driver, our commander and captain of fundraising. Kahit saan kami mapunta sa lupalop ng Pilipinas, so andyan po siya na mag-guide po sa amin during fundraising time, and we cannot really forget that front lines po ng ating magbibigay ng sermon today. So without further ado, let us welcome our young and dynamic national leader, our Reverend Leo Angelo Halog. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, our sister Jessa, our center leader now in Tanay. And thank you for being our MC today. First, I would like to greet our heavenly parents and true parents. Good morning, our heavenly parents and true parents. To all our beloved leaders and Chandu families, our blessed families, blood brothers and sisters. Good morning to everyone. Welcome to our national morning devotion once again. Today is our 40th day. We are completing today the 6th 40-day national morning devotion. So we are like around 240 days. So tomorrow we're going to begin the 7th 40-day of our national morning devotion. I'm really grateful to Heavenly Parents and True Parents that every morning we could come together and study True Parents' words. I would like to appreciate our IPLC brothers and sisters today for hosting today's morning devotion. Thank you so much for the wonderful offering song today that was offered by our sister Rajane. It's truly very inspiring and really moving offering song. And also our elder sister Ate Nilda, thank you for your 10 points of gratitude you have shared today. Really, our IPLC really not so easy during this time, but I'm sure blessing will surely come and we can overcome, and really we can make our IPLC the place where we will going to nurture our young brothers and sisters to become the future leaders, not only for our nation and for the world, but for the world. Yeah, so anyway, thank you very much to all our brothers and sisters from IPLC, of course with our beloved President Dr. Venus Agustin. Maraming salamat po for all your love and dedication and your support to our heavenly parents and parents. So yesterday we received so much inspiration. We are grateful. Yesterday we celebrated the True Children's Day. I think all of us could be able to really reflect. Yeah, not only what have happened now, our movement, but also internally, how we are really living a life of filial piety as filial sons and daughters of Heavenly Parent. Many things to reflect and really think about, and also through that we could renew again our determination and truly determine to become even more filial son and daughter of our Heavenly Parent and true parents. So that's really bring comfort to Heavenly Parents and true parents' heart continuously. So today I would like to share with you, so many things we are happening and really in the providence now, and We can really see how much a true mother is really so eager to realize the dream of our heavenly parent and true parents. So we would like to do our best to support more also our beloved true mother. So that's why every day we are trying to become better and really become sons and daughters that can make heavenly parents and true parents proud of us. This morning I will be sharing with you this topic entitled Ideal Conjugal Love. This is from Chun Song Gyong. When we think about establishing kingdom of heaven, building an ideal world, it always goes back to the family. And in the family, the pillar of the family is actually the relationship of husband and wife. So once this is strong, actually everything will go well in the family. But if this one, the relationship of husband and wife, is, this is the ones that is being challenged, and really this is the ones that is not stable, everything is affected in the family. Relationship with the children, and then once the family is unstable, then the society will be unstable, the nation will be unstable, right? Then the world also will be affected. That's why, how can we have an ideal conjugal love or ideal conjugal relationship between spouses, between husband and wife? So today let's study from two parents' words. The Father said, Unification Church families need to realize the family kingdom of heaven. The realization of a family kingdom of heaven will surely lead to the establishment of the kingdom of heaven on earth. Thus, Unification Church families need to realize the family kingdom of heaven. To experience it, you absolutely need a partner. Only through the stimulation you receive in your family and with your partner can you experience the ideal of the future heavenly kingdom in your daily life. Husband and wife need each other to learn this lesson and receive the stimulation that allows them to live eternally. So now we are really doing our best to realize a heavenly unified world, right? In line and in oneness with our beloved true mother. But actually this time also, as we are advancing, this is also the time that we have to go deeper in our relationship with our spouses, in our family. So even as we advance, last 2 days ago during our Anchiil, they also, Dr. Julius have given us a very precious message. So really, our Heavenly Parents Holy Community, this is also the time for us to reflect deeply. So in our also community, Heavenly Parents Holy Community, it is composed of families, right? Wherever it's composed of families, this is really the basic. So when we say that we have to go deeper, it's also time for us to look at our families. We have to really reflect and then go deeply with our relationship with our spouse as husband and wife, right? So Father said that we, the Unification Church families, or now the Heavenly Parents Holy Community, our families in this community, need to realize the family kingdom of heaven. So in this, family kingdom of heaven, when we realize this, then based on this, then we can establish the kingdom of heaven on earth, right? So each one of us, in order to experience it, Father said, you absolutely need a partner. So it all begins from here. That's why our young brothers and sisters, all the things that you are doing now, actually, this is only a preparation for you to meet your spouse later on. We are going through perfecting ourselves, our character, eliminating our fallen natures through the training, experiences that we are going through. What is the purpose of all this? This is for us to meet our partner, right? So we have to really train well ourselves so that when we meet our partner, then we can have, good relationship. We can build, really harmonious relationship with our spouse. Father said here, only through the stimulation you receive in your family and with your partner can you experience the ideal of the future heavenly kingdom in your daily life. Husband and wife need each other to learn this lesson and receive the stimulation that allows them to live eternally. That's why single people, they can never learn these things. Only, through husband and wife. So with all the foundations that was laid by true parents, our elders now, for us now, young generations, young couples now, we learn many things now from them. And then even our path became easier. And then, we don't need so much, of course, everybody needs to prepare well. But unlike how much they have prepared in the past. So how lucky we are now, young generations now, right? So that's why we have to take advantage with the foundations that we have. We have to understand that the purpose of our life is actually to meet our spouse. So we need to prepare well, whatever we are doing. Instead of longing of, becoming sometimes young people, they just wanted to, be popular in their field. Sometimes they already forgot the main purpose of meeting their spouse, right? So Father is saying that husband and wife need each other to learn this lesson and receive the stimulation that allows them to live eternally. Only with our spouse that we can live eternally, right? So without our spouse, so really the family is really the cornerstone of building a kingdom of heaven on earth. And in the family, the relationship of husband and wife, that is the core of the family. That's why it should be a strong, it should be very strong, that whatever problems or difficulties will come, it should remain, steady and stable. So once it remains and it is stable, then everything will be well in the family. Aju, that's why each one of us now. So we look at our own families. What kind of family I have now? How much, we became close with my wife, especially during this time of pandemic. Na lagi po tayong magkasama. Really, we are very grateful also. Really, literally, before, very difficult to be with husband and wife, especially if really someone is very busy working. But because of this pandemic, lalo na po last year, nung mga lockdown talaga, we were given the opportunity to really live together with our spouse and then know more deeply our spouse, right? This is really important. So I hope through this experience also that we could have, now we could have more stronger relationship with our spouse, more deeper. Our love should have grown more, right? So I'm sure, we could see now, I could see very happy and beautiful and sweet relationship of husband and wife, very wonderful families now. Truly amazing if we can really have this substantial and be seen in the public. Naturally, people will going to come to us and going to, ask what kind of group we are, how we are living our life as a family. This is truly amazing. So Kingdom of Heaven begins here. And then this will be the starting point of building Kingdom of Heaven on earth. Father said, conjugal love provides the stimulation required to build the kingdom, the ideal kingdom of heaven. So progress cannot come about without stimulation. Conjugal love provides the stimulation required to build the ideal kingdom of heaven. In other words, conjugal love pulls future joy into the realm of the present, provides stimulation and supplies the driving force to bring the couple to that kingdom. Because that love contains love for the nation, love for the world, and love for God, it can move freely and universally. So Father is saying here that progress cannot come about without stimulation. So really, actually, this is give and take. Father emphasized to us the importance, right? So if there's give and take, there will be stimulation, there will be, progress, there will be result. If there is give and take, but if only in the relationship of husband and wife, if only husband is always giving and giving, but the wife is not giving, what will going to happen? It will not going to have stimulation. It will not going to continue. It will never progress if only the spouse is the one giving, or the husband, for example, is the one giving, or only the wife is giving. So it should be give and take, right? Give and take. So progress can only come. So the relationship of husband and wife also can grow and develop if there is perfect give and take action, give and receive, right? So conjugal love, Father said, provides the stimulation required to build the ideal kingdom of heaven. That's why husband and wife is really responsible between each other. You know, sometimes our nature, we couldn't perfect, ourselves when we enter in this relationship of husband and wife, only because of two parents. So that's why in our relationship now as husband and wife, we need to perfect each other. We need to perfect each other. Sometimes, this time we could see we know each other already very well. Still, sometimes we know the attitude of, of people. When we hear the name of a person, we know already the attitude. But who is the most responsible with the attitude of our partner, with our spouse? It is us. It is us to help our spouse. If our spouse has difficulty, our partner has a lot of difficulty, this is the responsibility of the spouse. You need to help each other, to perfect each other. Sometimes, when we just hear a name of a person, we know already what kind of character, what kind of, and then, we can hear many things, sometimes not good things for our spouse. This is our responsibility. I realize this is the responsibility of the spouse. So there should be, perfect give and take, and really each of the partner needs to take responsibility. So that you can, make the perfect, give and take that will stimulate that your relationship, husband and wife, will grow and develop and become mature, right? So otherwise, we cannot build kingdom of heaven in our families, right? So Father said, in other words, conjugal love pulls future joy into the realm of the present, provides stimulation, and supplies the driving force to bring the couple to that kingdom. Because that love contains love for the nation, love for the world, and love for God, it can move freely and universally. So once we perfect this relationship with, between husband and wife, Father is saying this love contains love for the nation. So loving of nation begins from here. Once we perfect this relationship, that creates stimulation, centering first in the family and expands to the nation. So this love between husband and wife, Father said, contains the love for the nation, love for the world, and love for God. It can move freely and universally. That's why when we think about restoring our nation, restoring the world, always begins, always goes back to this relationship of husband and wife. What kind of relationship we have built now between husband and wife in our own families? If it's still a lot of challenges that we need to work, harder and really build this perfect, give and take, that it create the stimulation required to build the kingdom of heaven. Once this stimulation is required, that required is created, it will just naturally expand. It will just naturally expand to our society, to the nation, to the world. Aju, that's why really, how can we perfect this relationship between husband and wife? That's why during this COVID, this is truly amazing relationship, right? This is truly amazing opportunity. I mean, really great opportunity for us to build deeper relationship and know more deeply what kind of person our spouse is, my wife, my husband, right? So once this is perfected, it will just naturally expand to our society, to the nation, and to the world. Aju, that's why really this time actually we can hear many difficulties of husband and wife. That's why also IHQ come up with the, dividing now the Blessed Family Department. Before only Blessed Family Department, but now there is now the Blessing Department, because Blessed Family Department more focus later on not to the blessing candidates. This will be the work of the Blessing Department. So Blessed Family Department will going to focus on guiding our couples, especially those who have just started family. So also many couples are talking to me, a lot of challenges and difficulties, right? Once we cannot perfect this relationship, how to build ideal kingdom of heaven in the national level, in the worldwide level, if we cannot perfect this? That's why tayo po ng mga magulang, even though like for example, our children receive the blessing, they started family, our guidance also will be continuous to our children. Of course, there is the Blessed Family Department, right? They will going to help us, but they will going to help us, but most importantly, the parents. And then going back again, how can we also guide well our children later on if we cannot perfect this relationship now between us as husband and wife? Aju? That's why actually in our society this time, this is the greatest problem. Father said the most serious problem in the society is, problems of the youth and in the family breakdown. This is the most serious problem that we are facing, not corruption, not drugs. Once we fix this problem, all the problems that exist because of this problem as the root will all be solved. This drug problem came about from where? In the family. What else? All the problems, immorality, all these problems. Any problem, you name it, all comes from this relationship of husband and wife or in the family. That's why once we solve this root problem, all these problems will be solved as well. Aju? So really amazing, Father's teaching. So now, during this time, let's take this opportunity while it's still, it's still pandemic. What we need to perfect now is our love as husband and wife. And then as within our family. Truly amazing. It stimulates sabi ni Father, it stimulates what is required to build the ideal kingdom of heaven. Also, the stimulation that is required to build kingdom of heaven comes from the relationship of husband and wife, conjugal love. Really amazing. This is the key is from here. That's why we are teaching about families now. I'm really grateful and really happy with how much Dr. Kittle is emphasizing, especially in our nation, that how much the Constitution is protecting the family. So now when government officials hear about this, because they don't know much about this one, even their government officials. Of course, it is written in our Constitution, but it is not emphasized. And then our teaching now, our leaders, our lecturers, they always emphasize this. That's why any public officials attending our events, and then this is really great awakening for them. Our Constitution is really supporting this. So once it is, we touch the conscience, the heart, the deep heart of these people in the government, and then they will be awakened with, how our government should work and how our government should protect families, right? This is really the key to solve the problems of our society. Aju, really amazing. Father said a woman should love one man. So a woman should love one man, but she should love him as a representative of all men in the world. That man represents her father, elder brother, and younger brother. A woman should think of her husband as her father, grandfather, elder brother, and younger brother. Through loving her father, her grandfather, and her elder and younger brothers, a woman becomes eligible to receive a partner. So this is very important for us now, husband and wife. Our spouse is not only our, for me, my wife is not only my wife, right? So Father is saying here, a woman should love one man, but she should love him as a representative of all men in the world. That man represents her father, elder brother, and younger brother. So that's why we cannot just deal with our spouse with one way, right? Like only as our spouse. But sometimes our spouse is like our mother or like our father. Or sometimes like our younger sister or younger brother, right? And then a woman should think of her husband as her father, grandfather, elder brother, and younger brother. Can you imagine in this relationship? All the relationships are inculcated in this relationship of husband and wife. So through loving her father, her grandfather, and her elder and younger brothers, a woman becomes eligible to receive a partner. Wow, can you imagine? That's why we need a lot of preparation before, entering in this relationship. We need to learn how to really love grandfather or our grandmother very well, our father and our mother, younger brothers or younger sisters. We need to learn all these things very well before we enter in this relationship. Because in this relationship, not only dealing with your spouse as your spouse, right? That's why, our elders, already they can give us a lot of testimonies and lessons based on their long years. Maybe those who are already 30, 40 years, husband and wife, 20 years. That's why us still we are learning continuously. But having this, understanding this clearly, then we can be able to really build this relationship slowly and strengthen this relationship slowly. Can you imagine if all husband and wife are living life like this? Naturally, ideal family will come about, right? And then naturally, it will expand. People will going to see this relationship. But why? Very difficult. You know, church growth in our movement, not only in the Philippines, everywhere. What is the most serious thing we need to look at? It is in the family. It is most importantly relationship of husband and wife, man and woman. Aju? Wow, truly amazing Father's teaching. So that's why how instead of looking, you know, at our spouse limitations and shortcomings, we have to look at what kind of husband am I? What kind of father am I? Right? Instead of looking, you know. That's why really, really amazing. Once we solve this problem, we strengthen this relationship, everything can be solved. Aju? Father said, a woman should have the attitude of love for all the men in the world, and she should embrace and love her husband as the representative and fruit of all men. This shows her love for humanity, with the heart to love her husband as her father, elder brother, and younger brother, and by transcending all nations and borders, a woman can be considered a daughter of God. So really, how can not only woman, even, you know, a man, right, have this kind of attitude? The same is true with the woman. A husband also thinking that the wife is representative of all the women of the world, right? And then through this shows her love for humanity. Father said, so with the heart to love her husband as her father, elder brothers, and younger brother, and by transcending all nations and borders, a woman can be considered a daughter of God. So when we think about, you know, becoming a son or daughter of God, we cannot say yet while we are single. Actually, we can say later on once we enter in the relationship of husband and wife, and we can be able to love our spouse as, you know, as our father also, or as our mother, elder brother, or elder sister, or younger brother or younger sister, and transcends beyond borders. That's why those who were blessed from other nations, when you start to love already, you know, your wife's nationality more than your own, then that's the time. And then you can, you know, all this kind of love, then that's the time that Father said you can be considered as a daughter or as a son of God. Aju? Truly amazing. You know, many in the Philippines, we came from broken families. But when we met our movement, we don't want, you know, we would like to really become an ideal spouse, become an ideal man, ideal woman. Become, you know, really, when we join the matching, maybe we have different stories, right? That's why, you know, even me, I really determine, first, my determination is, I really want to build ideal family. I came from, you know, my parents separated when I was young, when I was 6 years old. So when I met our movement, I really determined. And then I will do my best to really, you know, prepare that my wife can be proud of me, my spouse can be proud of me. So when I joined the matching, what I think is, I should receive this kind of person because I'm, you know, I'm good, I'm, you know, like this person. I'm not thinking like that, but anyone, what I'm thinking is, I hope my spouse can accept me for who am I. I'm still very far, right? I need to continue to improve and develop myself more. So, you know, especially people who came from, you know, broken families. And then when they met through parents and they met the principal, I'm sure the same with my, you know, heart that I wanted to build good family, not the family that I was raised and I was born, right? We wanted to really become, you know, I want to become an ideal father. I want to become an ideal husband. Aju? So that's why really this is an amazing opportunity for us to really become the son and daughter of our heavenly parent. That's why not only while you are single, all these things are just preparation. Later on, you will going, so you need to prepare well yourself without eliminating our fallen natures. Really, later on, very difficult when you meet your spouse, right? That's why we are going through a lot of, you know, training sa buhay natin in order for us to, you know, love people in the grandfather level, in our father level, elder brother, younger sister, all these things. preparing for us to meet our spouse later on. Once we meet our spouse, we have to apply all this to our spouse. And then once we perfect this, that's the only time we can be called God's son and God's daughter. Aju? Truly amazing, the teachings of true parents. So if we perfect this, relationship, conjugal relationship between husband and wife, that's why tayo ngayon, you have to determine to really become, the best husband, the best father, right? Our spouse needs to become very proud of us. Tell the world, my husband is the best husband. My wife is the best wife. Our children should proclaim to the world, my father is the best father. My mother is the best mother. Our children should say that, I want to marry a man like my father. I want to marry a woman like my mother. If we can really build this kind of family, already kingdom of heaven will be realized. Aju? Really amazing, the teachings of true parents. This is the only solution with all the problems that we are facing now. So that's why this time, I remember Dr. Kittle, he said that we need to teach more now about family. Really, this is truly the most important now in our society, in this nation, in the world. We have to really teach this more and more about the family. That's why this time, the government, they are now seeing this. Really, as we focus more and we give emphasis more about this one, and then if all government agencies in the Philippines, in all over the world will focus in how to develop families, we can solve all the problems of corruption, of drugs, immorality, all problems of the world can be solved. Aju, kingdom of heaven will be realized. Amazing, right? So Father said, what is a true husband? What is a true husband? So a true husband is one who says to his wife, I was born for your sake, and so I will live for you and die for you. The same applies to a true wife. If a husband and wife are responsive to each other, rise above their self-interest and live for the sake of each other, their family will surely become an ideal family, a loving, happy, and peaceful family. So, also I'm reflecting a lot also for myself. I'm still, far away. I'm still also trying my best every day to become, better husband to my wife, better father to my children. But, really our determination is really to become, really the best father, the best husband, right? And really our spouse, our children can be proud of. Aju? So Father is asking here, what is a true husband? A true husband is the one who says to his wife, I was born for your sake, and so I will live for you and die for you. The same applies to a true wife. So if a husband and wife are responsive to each other, rise above their self-interest, and live for the sake of each other, their family will surely become an ideal family, a loving, happy, and peaceful family. That's why I always, even though I'm still far, but I'm always telling my wife, my purpose in life is to make you happy. If I'm not making you happy, then I'm not fulfilling my purpose. That's why you can see if you are fulfilling your purpose or not. If your spouse is happy, if your wife or your husband is happy, then you are fulfilling your purpose. But if your husband or if your wife is not happy, then you have to reflect deeply, right? So our purpose, husband is born for the wife is born for the husband. So we can only become true husband or true wife, Father said, when we started to say that I was born for you, I can die for you, I'm living for you, and I will die for you. We can only become true husband or true wife in this, in this sense, right? So that's why really, what is really my purpose? We have to really live for the sake of our spouse. Sabi ni Father dito, if a husband and wife are responsive to each other, rise above their self-interest and live for the sake of each other, their family will surely become an ideal family, a loving, happy, and peaceful family. That's why I am here for my wife alone, right? So I need to do everything for the happiness of my wife. This is the purpose of why am I living. The same is true. So if only all husband and wife think like this and really do their best to really sacrifice for the sake of their husband, for the sake of their wife, we can really build an ideal and happy, loving, and peaceful family that can become a model in our society. Time will come, these families, we need to testify in television, in social media. Later on, we have to testify to the world And then what will going to happen to this world? Naturally, people will come to us. Father's talking about one day, people will going to flock to our movement. They will come. Even you close the gate, they will come. It can only happen if we build such ideal families. Aju, wow, truly amazing. Really inspiring to listen from this guidance of true parents, right? So Father said, where then are ideal husband and wives of true love? No matter how capable and talented a man may be, the purpose for his birth does not lie in himself. He was born for the sake of a woman. Conversely, no matter how beautiful a woman may be, even as a proud actress, she was not born for her own sake. Where then are the ideal husbands and wives of true love? When a husband thinks he was born for his wife, he will live for her and die for her, and he will appear as the ideal husband. The same is true for the wife. According to this principle, where can we find an ideal person, a happy, loving, and good person? Such people cannot be found among those who live for their own sake, but only among those who live for the sake of others. That's why really living for others, we are always, hearing, living for others, living for others. What is ultimately this, living for others applied for later on? Now we are doing a lot of service activities. While we are single, we are doing a lot of, purposely later on, you have to apply this when you meet your spouse. Right? So Father said, according to this principle, where can we find an ideal person? A happy, loving, and good person. Such people cannot be found among those who live for their own sake, but only among those who live for the sake of others. That's why in the husband and wife relationship, if as a husband, as a wife, only I think of myself, what will going to happen? It will destroy the relationship between husband and wife. That's why really, even we are still far, we are determined, right? To really live for the sake of our spouse, to make our spouse happy. I am living just for my wife. I am living just for my husband. So I will do my best just to make my husband happy. Anything I will do just to make my spouse happy, just to make my wife happy. Aju? So only through this, Father said, through this principle that we can find ideal person, a happy, loving, and good person. Only thinking for the sake of the partner, really practicing substantially, living for the sake of others. So only this person can be said true husband or ideal husband and ideal wife. Aju? Father said, you have to connect it to the nation, to the world, and to God. A husband and wife who love each other while forgetting God's will should be ashamed in front of heaven. A family that pursues only its own happiness without considering the will of God will absolutely not develop. If something joyful happens in your family, you have to connect it to the nation, to the world, and to God. Then that joy in the family will be a source of pride for the nation, for the world, and for God. This is the way of life of a blessed couple. So also not end only from, in our family. Father said here, a husband and wife who love each other while forgetting God's will should be ashamed in front of heaven. A family that pursues only its own happiness without considering the will of God will absolutely not develop. Kaya nga actually, as a family, you can actually never really be happy if you just live only for your own family. Sabi ni Father dito, a family that pursues only its own happiness without considering the will of God will absolutely not develop. The only way for us to develop our family will progress continuously and will become happier and happier if only we connect to God's will. If you will not connect your family to God's will, even now you are happy, you have everything, you will never continue to develop if you just live for your own family. Father said, if something joyful happens in your family, you have to connect it to the nation, to the world, and to God. Then that joy in the family will be a source of pride for the nation, for the world, and for God. This is the way of life of a blessed couple. This is our way of life. Aju? So Father said, they will only succeed and prosper. Yeah. So when you try to serve each other and work for the sake of others, the whole world of creation will follow suit, and heavenly fortune will chase you faster than a speeding automobile in a car chase. when heavenly fortune comes your way, you will be able to fly. Because heaven and earth protect couples that follow the way of heaven's principle and live for the sake of others. They will never decline. They will only succeed and prosper. That is heaven's law. So really, if we really live for the sake of others, serve each other and work for the sake of others, the whole world of creation will follow suit and heavenly fortune will come to you. It will, chase you. Actually, it will come after you. Even you're not chasing, you will be the ones being chased by heavenly fortune. Because this is heavenly law, Father said. Heaven and earth protects couples that follow the way of heaven's principle and live for the sake of others. They will never decline. They will only succeed and prosper. So this is truly very important for us to really understand that our family is not only for us, right? As we build ideal families, we have to live more for others. And then heaven and earth will protect your family. And you will just, continue to succeed and prosper. Because this is heavenly law. Aju? So this is now the last slide. So Father said, once you become a couple of true love, you need to plant the seed of true lineage. Once you become a couple of true love, you need to plant the seed of true lineage. When they unite based on true love and have a baby, they connect with the tradition as a mother and father and reach the point of family settlement. A couple with God's original nature of one mind, one body, one thought, and one harmony, who become one with the principles of absolute sex based on the eternal love, who display absolute faith, love, and obedience, who invest and then forget how much they have invested, and who are a model of heavenly principles, will flourish even when things go poorly, and flourish even more when things go well. Satan cannot enter such a couple. So that's why Father said, once you become a couple of true love, you need to plant the seed of true lineage. So that's why our family, that's why our brothers and sisters, the couples, our purpose is, not only to, perfect that relationship, but we need, after that, we need to plant the seed of true lineage. If it's again, we need to have our children. When they unite based on true love and have a baby, they connect with the tradition as a mother and father and reach the point of family settlement. So family settlement can only come about when we already, the fruit of our true love between husband and wife, between spouses, could come about or could be realized through sons and daughters. Then that's the time that we can have family settlement. Aju? So Father said, a couple with God's original nature of one mind, one body, one thought, one harmony, who become one with the principles of absolute sex, based on eternal love, who display absolute faith, love, and obedience, who invest and then forget how much they have invested, and who are a model of heavenly principles, will flourish even when things go poorly, and flourish even more when things go well. That's why nothing can stop the development of husband and wife loving each other, family loving each other. Satan cannot enter such a couple. That's why it will just naturally develop. That's why this time, during this COVID-19, living in this time, in this course of True Mother to 2027, really, this is now the time for us to really reflect deeply. Because, we are already living in 9th year of Channel Book, where God is directly working now. Kaya ngayon really what we need to settle well now is our own families. And then all other responsibilities that we will be doing once our family is well settled, relationship with husband and wife, parents and children is settled well, it will be easier for us to fulfill our other responsibilities. Expanding to the tribe, to the nation. But if this is not settled, even how much we try, doing our Heavenly Tribal Messiah mission, even how much we try, sometimes very difficult. A lot of challenges and difficulties. That's why this relationship first, we need to settle. That's why in this time of pandemic, this is now the time to settle everything between husband and wife, right? And really become, the husband and wife that heavenly parent and true parents wanted to see. We have to really work harder this time and really make that model in our family. Aju, and then it will just naturally flourish. It will be easier for us to accomplish our Heavenly Tribal Messiah mission. We'll become a model in our nation. We'll become a model in the world. Our children can grow up very well. We'll not have any problem in raising up our children, right? This is the best education that they can be with and that they can have, education from their parents. Aju, Satan can never invade such a family. We will just continue to flourish continuously forever and ever. Aju, Aju, so let's really become such a family and expand to our society, to our nation, to the world, and really build substantial kingdom of heaven on earth with our true parents, with our true mother now. Aju, so let's really appreciate our heavenly parents, true parents, for this amazing guidance today. Thank you very much. Once again, our blessed central families and brothers and sisters, let's have a great day today. Thank you very much.
Wow, let's give a round of applause to our national leader, Reverend Leo Angelo Halog, for that beautiful sermon this morning. And I know that there are more young people in other centers. I can see from in LTP and also YLP and other centers. So even we are also in the position that we are in the process of the matching, the blessing, or starting family. I think this sermon could truly give us the points how to really understand the value of the blessing in matching. So that's why we appreciate our national leader for this morning devotion, our beautiful sermon. Let's give him another round of applause. Our guidance this morning entitled The Ideal Conjugal Love. It is really true from our national leader that the beauty of the husband and wife, the relationship of the husband and wife centering on our heavenly parents and true parents could truly manifest to love the nation. But if husband and wife cannot really love each other, then they cannot able to love the nation. Kaya even it is just a simple word, but in real, no, in real action, it is really difficult. Kasi the husband and wife is, a factors to love the nation. And I hope that I salute to all blessed family and our couples, yung mga mag-start pa lang ng family na kagaya sa akin. I really salute for all your patience towards to your husband, towards to your wife. So in the secular world, outside, makikita natin sa social media na to make your wife happy, give her a money. Sa husband kaya, anong ibibigay natin, no? So that is a secular world, outside world po yun. But in our movement, to make husband and wife happy is they really need to, follow God's path, our heavenly parents and true parents. So no matter what, how we struggle in our husband, our wife, our spouse, we really need to look back on our first, determination when we apply for the blessing in matching. Aju, so before we call the assigned person to give the reflection, so is anyone in our virtual room who wants to share his or her heart? Raise your right feet. Sino pong gusto mag-volunteer? Our Tito Wensi. Okay, let's give a round of applause to our hardworking father in Cabanatuan, our Tito Wensi Manaba. 5, 6, 7, go!
Good morning, leaders, brothers and sisters. So very wonderful the topic today about the ideal conjugal love. So actually my inspirations about the ideal conjugal love is our true father and true mother. Really, that's why they're my model. So for me, to establish ideal conjugal love is really very, very difficult, very challenging, because for 6,000 years, the history of human being really always fail. When they are single, always lost the purity. That's why when they marry, already affected the relationship. So to build ideal conjugal love, on this earth is really very big challenges. So I realized that that establish ideal conjugal love training is very important. That's why I really appreciate my training. Even in my physical family, I really experienced so much hard work. I remember my father. My father told us, why that's one more. My father told us that if you want to really, if you want to don't absent in the school, you have to work nighttime. Yeah, this is the training of my parents. That's why in the farm we work nighttime, removing the seeds of the rice, and then when we have plantation, we work nighttime, and then after removing the seedlings, distribute nighttime also, so that daytime can go to school. So this is the training that I received from my parents. That's why when I encounter the family, the Unification Church, all the hard work in the Unification Church, I can easily adapt. No, fundraising. So I experienced a long time fundraising in the Unification Church, and then I realized that those training in fundraising for so long and also witnessing is really a good foundation to establish good relationship to my wife. Yeah, I have motto that even though my life is very simple, even though our family live only in the kubo and then eat simple food, my goal is to have a good relationship with each other. Yeah. So and then I always look my wife as that representative of God on this earth. When I receive the blessing from true parents, and then when I come back home, really amazing that I always show to my family, my cousin, that God gave me ideal partner, ideal wife. I am really very proud, no, very proud to this blessing, no, that I experienced blessings in Korea, and then my partner is really love God so much, love the nation, and then I keep this kind of heart, no, inspiration towards God. Of course, many challenges, but I always keep in my mind, my heart, that when I follow true parents, I have to fulfill this three great blessing. No matter what, I have to fulfill this three great blessing. That's why every challenges that I encounter, I always remind to my pledge that, Wincy, you have to fulfill your promise to fulfill the three great blessings. So, and also the way to overcome all my challenges is I always remember the life of our true father. No, the life of true father, his difficulties in suffering force, just only for me to receive the blessings and building ideal family. That's why I was able to overcome many challenges in a life of faith. Yeah, whatever challenges, whatever mission I receive, I always put my highest sincerity. No, so it's very good also foundation to join the long training of the frontline, like mobilization of interfaith blessing. Yeah, I always whenever there is direction, I really follow, and then and then willingly obey and joyfully follow. And then when we are in the front line, I have the heart of showing a model. Wherever I go in the mobilization, Mindanao, everywhere, I show a model because of God, because of true parents, and also because of willing to really bring joy and happiness to heavenly parents and true parents. And then this will become like foundation to establish ideal relationship to my wife. That's why my children, I don't have problem to my children in raising up them. I don't have problem about my son or my daughter become like this. I don't have any problem. I'm so grateful about the training that our true parents have given to me. No, long time in the front line. Yeah. So of course, even though this time I'm quite old, I still need to go to the front line. Yeah, until my last breath on this earth, I will really continuously follow to our true parents and become victorious HTM, so that all my children, they will also follow this path of loving God, loving our true parents. Even though this time our relationship is not yet totally ideal, no, but it's still in the process. Yeah, in the process to become absolutely ideal, centering upon God and true parents in the different levels, no, until worldwide level. So it's really true. Yeah, training. That's why those second gen, first gen, that they were going to receive the blessing, I encourage them to have more training, front line. Yeah. The more they experience hardship training in the front line, the more they can really build a beautiful relationship in the family, conjugal relationship. But if they avoid this sacrifice of the front line, really very hard to build ideal conjugal relationship. That's why all voluntarily go to the front line, willingly, joyfully. Yeah, joyfully. No need to put about 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, long front line until can acquire so much good relationship, good training, and then we can build a beautiful family with no problem about children, about raising up children. Yeah. So I'm very grateful to God and to parents for this training. So thank you very much, brothers and sisters. Good morning to everyone.
Well, thank you so much, our father figure in Kabanatuan, for that beautiful and artistic reflection. So I hope that young people, all our blessed families, can really get a takeaway from our Tito Wency's reflection about in order to fulfill the ideal of conjugal love is what? Training. So I hope everyone could really appreciate all your trainings in your centers, fundraising, witnessing, and everything. And this is could really help us to develop more our hearts in preparing ourselves for the blessing in starting family. Thank you so much for that, Tito Wency. And let's welcome for another reflection our one of the IPLC student, our sister Grace Onyas. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. So yeah, today's guidance about ideal conjugal love. And then kanina sa reflection ni Tito Wency, sinabi yung training. And then I realized something na. Kasi pag stay ka sa IPLC, usually every Friday and Saturday, there is always fundraising. So sometimes I join. That's while joining, iba nasa front line na. And then nagda-doubt ako always sa self ko na, can I really achieve my goal, ganyan. So, even though na alam ko yung purpose why I do fundraising, diba, to train ourselves or to receive our spouse. Pero it is really parang difficult to deny ourselves. Yung parang pinaka sa akin. Denying myself sa front line is somehow really difficult. Pero yun, step by step, once na parang you have to achieve yung goal mo kasi you set your goal to because you wanted to achieve this. So once you have that, yung parang yung mindset thing at saka mind and heart na nakaset to because you really want to achieve the goal mo. Tapos, one time, I remember ko na na-experience ko yun yung one drop na ni-set ko yung heart at mind ko na do this for this goal. Tapos na after ng drop na yun, akong yung result ko nung drop na yun is parang really different from other drops at saka other fundraising experience na experience. So in parang applying this time kasi we are may pandemic, so we're staying inside our house. So we are with our family. So syempre dealing with together with your siblings as a parent, somehow parang everyday there is parang challenges kasi you need to overcome. So understand yung parang decision na your parent. So yung sinabi ni NL kanina na we should practice to love our parents, our mother, our father, and also our younger brothers and sisters. So by loving by practicing how to love our brothers and sisters and also our parents, we when we receive our spouse, somehow na hindi tayo mahirapan sa pag how to love them. Kasi we don't know where our spouse came from. So that's why before receiving, we should really practice. Kasi sinabi ni Anel kanina, all problems are from the family. So to solve yung all of those problems, we should have a strong relationship between husband and wife. So syempre tayo as parang hindi pa tayo nandun sa stage na yun. So we need to practice first our heart to love our brothers and sisters, and also learn to love and also respect and follow our parents. So by doing those parang things, we could easily parang adapt and also learn how to naturally love our partners. So yun lang. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, our sister Grace, for that artistic reflection. So I hope that whatever trainings in and out of IPLC, thank you for having a grateful heart, and thank you also for being a filial child towards your parents. I really salute your parents for really taking care and nagpalaki sa'yo ng maayos din sa Mindanao, right? So, ayun, thank you so much. And someone is raising his hand, one of our blessed families. So before we proceed to another part of our hondoke, so let's give the floor to our Tito Roy Caromba for reflection. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. I'm inspired with the message today. because this is very important, especially as Phil-Jap family, Filipino-Japanese couple. I remember when I left Philippines, I left headquarters to come here in Japan 2001. That time, Mrs. Kim told me, you go to Japan and win your wife and then come back to headquarters. Then I promise, okay, Oma, give me 3 years. 3 years to win my wife and then come back to Philippines and do the frontline mission. But I'm already 21 years here in Japan. And conjugal love, or husband and wife relationship is so challenging, especially as Filipino-Japanese couple. It's challenging because first, when I arrive, don't understand the language, the culture. So communication is so limited, and the culture in Japan is always work, 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 work. And really it's challenging. But because we are trained in the front line, so we can easily adjust and always have patience in any situation. I think the only thing that that really make us survive or build a good relationship as husband and wife is that first, I should understand my wife first. I should know my wife, how she was raised up in the family, her training in the church, and then because it is necessary to understand your wife's background so that whatever how she was raised up, what kind of family she has, then we can adjust. We can adjust. We can understand their nature. So every time that our wife or partner in life do things, sometimes they act like a child, so we should treat them as a child. Sometimes, as what our true father said, if we should treat them as a child, we should treat them as our brothers or our sister, or the husband as brother, not only as wife. This is sometimes the problem that I saw in many of some of our blessed family. The only thing when they started family, this my wife, only wife. The principle teach us that we should pass through a child's love, brothers and sisters love, husband and wife, and then becoming parents. So this is the school, a family, a school that we need to learn. So when we learn child's love, we should treat sometimes our wife as a child and raise them up. So I think that's and that's what I did with my wife. A child first, raise her up, okay? And then same with my wife. No, sometimes we, as husband, also we act like a child, and then should they treat us as a child, also as a son, and raise us up. So this give and take, it takes time. It takes time to really have a harmonious relationship between husband and wife. Okay, and need to understand the past, his present situation, and then because our goal really is to build an ideal relationship as husband and wife, meaning to do that, I should become an ideal husband first, ideal child to my wife first, ideal brother to my wife, ideal husband, and when we have our children, we can become an ideal family. And it is a lifetime mission to build an ideal family. Okay. So my promise of 3 years now become 21 years in Haran, 21 years here in Japan. But thanks to all the training that we have in the past, thanks to our parents, thanks to the divine principle, that become our guide how to really a harmonious relationship as husband and wife. So my reflection in my life is that the only thing that we can win our wife is through the principle. There's no other way. There's no other way. So when we always talk about principle in the family as husband and wife, that's always the meeting point. Yun palagi ang mag-unite sa husband and wife. Only through the principle of how to relate with one another. It's not our own principles that in life that will unite us as husband and wife, but only through the divine principle, through our parents' teaching. That's the only way that I can say that we have a good relationship as husband and wife this time. Okay, but not so perfect, but in some when we always talk, we always set aside our own feeling, always the principle, always the providence, like that. Okay, how we can support, how we can and do more for the providence. So until we can win our partner to always become a public person, there is always fighting, a conflict in relationship. This is what I observe as I also deal with some brothers and sisters here in Japan. So only through parents' teaching, through the principle, through always becoming public-minded, then we can have an ideal relationship. That's my reflection this morning. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you so much, our Tito Roy Caromba, for that artistic reflection. So it is really true that overcoming, especially different spouse from Japan, it's really hard to overcome your wife or your husband. But our takeaway for Tito Roy Caromba's reflection is that you need to really understand your first your wife background, especially their church, how they raise up from their church, at the same time how they raise up from their own family. And I hope that those young couples who are here attending today, we could truly develop that heart also to know our spouse. So I know how much you struggled with your own partner, but I hope that this a reflection from Tito Roy's Karumba is really, a takeaway for us to understand the heart of our partner. Thank you so much po. And last one po, who give his reflection. So let us give the floor to our Master Rafi Ablong. Let's give him a round of applause.
Good morning, Heavenly Parent and True Parents. Good morning, our national leader, and to all our VIPs on board. Also, good morning to everyone. Thank you very much, Brother Roy, for making me remember and making me share because of your wonderful sharing. Yeah, Japan is a very, when I came here, before I came here, my leader told me that I need to, Mrs. Kim, basically Mrs. Kim told us that Japan is like a desert country. We need to bring with us the heart of heaven and the words from heaven. So when I came here, I had with me 5 books, especially the Divine Principle, Unification Thought, the Book of Tradition, the Way of Tradition, the Way of God's Will, and some other books like the Holy Songs. Those are the books that I brought with me. And along the way, some of the photos and even some of the things were not, were not transported. So I ended up with only the clothes I have and the books that I brought with me. So yeah, the understanding of the divine principle is sometimes affected by culture and the language of people and our family and experience and background in the natural environment where we grow up. Our habitat is basically defined by its culture. So when we when you go to another country, we need to really be sure that the subject, our wife, is first. When we come here, we need to listen to them. We need to really learn from them. But at the same time, like Mother Roy said, we have to make the principle that we learn win every kind of situation. Of course, there is always love, but as we know from chapter 2, love is always stronger, so we need to guide it with the principle. So there are so many ways to express ourselves, like love, just putting toothpaste on your wife's toothbrush, just patting her back or rubbing her shoulders to make her feel happy, or just giving her flowers or candies, or sometimes just even a sweet note of love, or like I do every day when my wife goes out for work. I always send her to the door and always watch her going down to the street and waving for her almost every day. I say almost because sometimes when we have arguments, I cannot do that because it's like I am faking, yeah, right? So I have to just pray inside my room when she leaves. But almost every day when she leaves the home, I always do that. I wait to my wife, say goodbye. I pray for her while she goes down the park and to the street and to the subway. So there are so many ways to do that. And of course, because we are in field job, it's hard to go to Japan Church because Japan Church will always have the tendency to give you more donations or give you another mission. So to avoid duplication or doubling the mission, we just need to keep the tradition and the faith within the family or share it with other people. And this morning devotion is really a big help to all the Japanese members in West Japan, because most of us here, we go to Japan Church, and also we do our services at home. For my family, we do it every day, 5 o'clock with my wife. Before she leaves, she has to wake up at 3:30, cook the food for breakfast for all 4 of us. I'm the 4th child in the family. My wife always tells me, the 4th child and the oldest. So I always try to help my wife, but that doesn't work sometimes because she has her own way in the kitchen. So we just meet at 5 o'clock, or sometimes when I am so tired, I do the tradition after her, and then this morning tradition. This is very important. Keeping the tradition is like keeping the security of heaven around you. If we just leave the home without doing tradition, without morning devotion or hunduke or prayer, then we are exposing ourselves to Satan's temptation, Satan's world, and we may not be able to deal with it properly. Dealing with ideal life, talking about ideal life in the family is very very challenging, because when you say ideal, you have to deal with something for the to come up with ideal. Our marriage is very much different from the outside world, because we married for a purpose. We married for a mission, and that mission is to make an ideal world through ideal families. That is the motto of the 30,000 couples. So I am really touched by the service today, and of course, two parents' words are always there to guide us, but it is our responsibility, our obligation, our duty, our love that provides the venue for heaven to use us as as the instrument of love and peace. Heaven is just there to guide us, to help us, to remind us. But who follows the will of heaven? It is us. We have to be responsible in our life. We have to help each other, and we have to think that our wife is not just another person. She is our body. My wife is my body. I go with her wherever I go. So I don't fail to call my wife when I go to somewhere. I go to another place. I always call her. Even when I meet people, I always call her. I am here, like that, because it is important for the wife to know where her husband is going, what her husband is doing. So also about money, all my money goes to my wife. I ask money for my wife. I am like a beggar, begging for my wife. Ma, give me money. I like this. Sometimes I lie. I lie to my wife because I need more money. So sometimes I ask her, Ma, I want to, I will go to hospital today. So she gives me more money, but I use that money for meeting out people outside, for and then I report to her later. That's the other way. It's not good for me. I think it's not good because I lie to my wife, but I also tell her about why I lied. So I need to report why I lied. So also special traditions like birthdays, we always ask our children to donate money. Birthday tradition is a way to educate children about tithing. When they receive money from grandma, because they always receive from Japan. If you are in Japan, you always receive from people who love you, who are connected to your family. So we always ask them to donate 10%. Some at the beginning they complain. Oh, it's just 3,000. Why are you getting 300 from me? 3,000. I don't have 3,000 anymore. They will have that kind of issues with you, but later on they will grow over that problem. They will understand that it is important to give 10% of what you have to heaven, so that heaven can work, can do its mission on earth. So I thank you so much, Dr. Leo Angelo Halok, for such a wonderful message today. Thank you, Brother Roy, for sharing our experience. It's good. It's bitter sometimes, but it's sweet in the end. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. Good morning.
Thank you so much, our four reflectors this morning. Parang umaapaw yung blessings natin ngayon sa morning devotion, and we're truly grateful with your artistic sharing of hearts. So why not we give a thank you clap to our reflectors? 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you. Also, we would like to appreciate, of course, our national leader for giving us a beautiful guidance this morning. And the ideal conjugal love is really good points for us also as the young couples to really hear your reflection so that we could be guided also when we start our family, and even to those brothers and sisters who are in the process of the matching and blessing. Thank you so much. And to move on with the next part of our Hondoke. So we didn't have final guidance this morning, but we would like to give the floor to our technical team for the announcement.
Good morning to all our leaders, brothers and sisters. Here are the news and announcement. A reminder to all Chonbo couples and blessed families in today's third session of the Chonbo Leaders School by Professor Gill. The program will start at 8 p.m. Manila time via Zoom. For inquiries, please contact Ms. Crystal Parason. There will be an Asia Pacific Sunday School training workshop on November 20 and 21. This is for current and former Sunday school teachers, teachers who want to teach at Sunday school, and for all blessed families and members interested in teaching in Sunday school, age 18 and above. For requirements, at least a finish of the Divine Principle seminar and be able to understand the blessing lecture. This is open to for first and second generation. And for more information, please contact Mrs. Kayo Halog, the head of the Education Department of Blessed Children, age 3 to 12 at 0967-246-9149. On November 27, 2021, the Chonbo Asia Pacific branch will hold its 12th Chonbo Special Online event. We are accepting applications until November 24 from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. For registration, please email at hjcbfields@gmail.com or message at our official Facebook page, HJ Chonbo Fields. We want to remind once again all blessed families and members about the Yojong offering. You can send your precious donation until November 30, 2021. The purpose of this special donation is first, offering to our beloved True Mother. Second, to support the launching of the Pacific Christian Leadership Conference. And for the donation amount, for blessed families, at least 2,100, and for individual or single members, at least 700 pesos. So you can send your precious donation to the following bank account. For peso donation, you can send it to our PNB peso account. And for dollar donation, you can send it to our BPI dollar account. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, our Mamie, for the announcement. So please be guided with our events in our church, everyone, especially the Yojong offering, the Chonbu event, so yung mga magpa-liberate and blessing of ancestors. So this is our chance to do more to support our beloved Mother. So to close us, our morning devotion for today, may I call our IPLC staff, working mother also in IPLC, our Mami Sara Tihada for the closing prayer.
Hello po. Kindly unmute yourself po.
Sometimes we
Miss
have to
Mrs. Sarah Tejada po.
our bad desires. Forgive us, Father, for sometimes we forget our responsibility as a blessed family because of some problems we are facing in this life. Thank you so much, Father, for everything. And I would like to offer and pray this in behalf of my brothers and sisters here in IPLC. My name is Sarah and Jerry Tejada, the Central County.
Adieu. Let us offer our unison prayer. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Thank you so much, everyone. So let us offer our morning greetings to our heavenly parents and true parents. Good morning, God and true parents. Good morning to our national leader, Reverend Layo Angelo Halog, and all our elders, brothers and sisters. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning,
Magandang
everybody.
umaga po sa lahat. Thank you so much. Our IPLC
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Elaine.
you so
Such a very
much.
good message.
IPLC, thank you very much, Dr. Dino, Dr. Leo.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Hi, Brother Rafi. Roy, thank you for your reflections. In
Good morning, brothers and sisters.
very timely.
Thank
In
you
time of
for the
pandemic.
Thank you, Kuya Rafi.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Kuya
you.
Roy Karumba.
I understand you, Dr. Dino.
Stay away from home.
Away from
Thank you, Jayon.
Thank you for those reflections.
Thank you, brothers and sisters.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, technical department.
Morning devotion.
Hi, Roy.
Good
Morning.
Good morning, Brother Roy.
Dr. Venus.
Thank you.
Wala pa yata tulog.
Morning, boy. Navarro.